Most people believe extraordinary results require extraordinary effort. They imagine success as something loud, dramatic, and intense. They expect visible struggle, emotional highs, and constant motivation. But real progress almost never looks like that. Real progress is quiet. It is repetitive. It is boring. And that is exactly why it works. Boring habits are not impressive. They do not feel powerful. They do not create excitement. They rarely produce instant feedback. That is why most people avoid them. They want to feel progress immediately. They want proof that their effort matters. When they do not see results quickly, they assume the habit is useless. But this assumption is wrong. Boring habits are not weak. They are delayed. The human brain is not designed to reward consistency. It is designed to reward novelty. New things release dopamine. Repetition does not. This creates a dangerous illusion. The things that feel good now often fail later. The things that feel dull now succeed later. Most people choose based on feeling, not outcome. That is why most people stay average. Boring habits work because they remove emotion from progress. They do not ask whether today feels right. They do not care if motivation is present. They operate independently of mood. This independence is their strength. When emotions fluctuate, boring habits remain. And over time, remaining matters more than trying harder. At the beginning, boring habits feel pointless. One page read does not feel like learning. One workout does not feel like strength. One day of saving does not feel like wealth. Because the result is invisible, people stop. But invisibility does not mean inefficiency. It means compounding has not revealed itself yet. Compounding is quiet. It does not announce itself. It does not rush. It grows beneath the surface. And boring habits are the perfect environment for compounding to work uninterrupted. Exciting efforts attract attention. Attention creates interference. Boring habits avoid interference. They are left alone long enough to grow. Consistency is not heroic. It is mechanical. It is showing up when nothing feels different. It is repeating the same action even when you are tired of it. It is trusting a process without demanding proof every day. This trust is uncomfortable. That discomfort pushes people away, but discomfort is often a sign that something is working, slowly. Extraordinary results do not come from doing more. They come from quitting less. Most people quit not because something is too hard, but because it feels too boring. They mistake boredom for failure. They confuse calm with stagnation, but boredom is often the stage right before momentum appears. When you repeat a boring habit daily, the brain adapts. Resistance decreases. What once felt heavy becomes normal. What felt difficult becomes automatic. This is not motivation. This is neurological efficiency. The brain prefers patterns. Repetition creates familiarity. Familiarity reduces friction. Reduced friction increases speed. Speed built this way is stable. It does not spike and crash. It does not depend on emotion. It does not need inspiration. It simply continues, and continuation is the rarest skill in modern life. Boring habits also protect you from burnout. Exciting habits demand energy. They drain willpower. They rely on emotional fuel. When fuel runs out, progress stops. Boring habits use almost no fuel. They are sustainable. They survive stress. They survive bad days. They survive boredom. And because of that, they survive long enough to matter. Most extraordinary people do not feel extraordinary while building their results. They feel ordinary. They wake up, they follow routine, they repeat yesterday. The difference is not intensity. The difference is duration. They stay longer. The results appear suddenly to outsiders. People say it happened overnight, but overnight success is just boring habits reaching visibility. What looks sudden is usually delayed consistency. Boring habits build identity quietly. You do not feel like a new person immediately, but one day you notice something has changed. You no longer debate whether to act, you simply act. The habit has become part of who you are. This is the deepest level of change. Behavior turns into identity. Once identity shifts, results accelerate. You no longer rely on discipline, you rely on alignment. The habit feels natural. Stopping feels strange. This is when progress becomes effortless. But this stage only arrives if boredom was tolerated long enough. Most people quit just before this point. Extraordinary results are not created by doing extraordinary things. They are created by doing ordinary things for an extraordinary amount of time. Time is the ingredient people underestimate the most. They overestimate intensity and underestimate patience. Boring habits also reduce anxiety. When actions are predictable, the mind relaxes. Uncertainty creates stress. Routine creates safety. This calm state improves focus. Focus improves quality. Quality improves results. Calmness is not weakness, it is an advantage. The modern world celebrates excitement. It rewards visibility. It praises motivation. But motivation is unstable. Excitement is temporary. Visibility creates pressure. Boring habits avoid all three. They grow without attention. They strengthen without noise. They succeed without drama. If you feel bored while doing the right thing, you are not failing, you are building. If you feel nothing while showing up, you are progressing. Emotion is not a requirement for success. Repetition is. The most reliable people are not passionate. They are consistent. They do not feel like doing the work every day. They do it anyway. Not forcefully, not angrily, calmly, quietly, repeatedly. Boring habits free you from motivation. You no longer wait. You no longer negotiate. You no longer depend on mood. You act because it is time, not because it feels right. This removes internal conflict. Internal conflict wastes energy. Boring habits conserve it. Over time, the results speak for themselves. Strength appears. Skill appears. Confidence appears. Not because you chased them, but because you allowed boring habits to work uninterrupted. If you want extraordinary results, stop searching for extraordinary methods. Choose a boring habit. Make it small, make it repeatable. Protect it from emotion. Protect it from excitement. Protect it from impatience. Then give it time. The world is full of people who tried hard and quit early. It is empty of people who stayed bored long enough. If this message resonated, do not feel inspired. Feel committed. Inspiration fades, commitment stays. Return tomorrow, repeat the habit, and let boredom do the work. Extraordinary results are already waiting inside ordinary repetition.